You know, I'm not surprised, actually. I kind of feel like I was expecting it on some level. Another assassination attempt on President Trump. I've been feeling this for a long time. Maybe you have too. The thought, the fear that there was no way they're going to let Donald Trump get to the White House. Now, why would we have that concern, everybody? Well, because they've been telling us that for months, haven't they? Haven't they? Right? Years, actually. Liz Cheney, Donald Trump cannot get anywhere near the White House, right? Well, they can let maniacs get near President Trump. And why does this keep happening? Can I take this full, please? This is, well, where it happened, okay? Now, I want to emphasize something here. You see this yellow brick road, right? It's a regular street. It's called Summit Avenue, right? Summit Boulevard. Any member of the general public can get on that street, not having been screened, not having been looked at by anyone, and President Trump was scheduled to be right about here. Now, fortunately, he never made it into view, apparently. But the Secret Service's plan was to have the President of the United States, former 45, here when regular people could be right here. Now, what do I mean by regular people? People who haven't been screened. People who have not been, the magnetometers, you get inside the bubble. They call it a bubble. It is a huge security kind of safe zone for the president. But Donald Trump doesn't get that. Anyway, this stuff does not surprise me, although it kind of shocks me, but it doesn't surprise me. I don't know. But I asked President Trump about this in April. All this crazy lawfare. I mean, that wasn't working, right? It was just blowing up. So I had to ask him, and I did. Mentioned prison, and they want to put you in prison. And the most shocking thing I've seen in a long time, Benny Thompson, who tries to come off as this avuncular kind of wise man, you know, from the January 6th committee, he wants to put you in prison without Secret Service. I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if you've reacted to it yet, but he's got a proposal that would terminate Secret Service. Now, I don't think you're going to jail, but let's face it, theoretically, it could happen. He wants to deprive you of your Secret Service if you go to prison. These Democrats want you dead. You realize that?
Yeah, because I'm the one that turns things around.
I'm the one who turns things around, and then he talked a lot about his accomplishments, as he is supposed to do when you're running for president. I admit it was a rather dark thought, but I couldn't shake it, and I had to ask him. Now, that question was seen so out of, oh, well, how dare you ask? How could you say that out loud? The trades gave me a hard time, everybody writing up, oh, yeah. Newsmax host tells Trump these Democrats want you dead. Again, that was back in April. We know what has happened since July 16th. What a terrible but an amazing moment. July 13th, excuse me. Remember? President Trump said he actually felt calm at this moment because he knew he was safe. Through it all, right? Bullets flying overhead, he actually knew he was safe. I think you really know you're safe when you're on your own private golf course, right? Nobody can get at you there. Or can they? And they shouldn't be. President Trump has substantial Secret Service protection. But it doesn't seem like it's substantial enough. And I know it's not substantial enough. That golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida, I've actually been there. I don't golf, but I was having lunch with Andrew Giuliani, actually, great guy. And President Trump was there. This is about February of 2021. He's no longer president. I walked in without any security, nobody looking at me. I actually walked right by the president's table. I didn't realize he was sitting there. And I knew that was wrong. But here we are. And President Trump on his golf course, the Trump golf course, everybody knows that he plays a lot, especially on Sundays. The Secret Service director, this guy I do not trust, and President Trump should not trust him either, the acting Secret Service director, Ron Rowe, what he said today, this has not been noticed. This has not been adequately highlighted. I'm going to try. They're trying to blame Trump. Yep. Watch this.
This was an off-the-record movement. It wasn't a site that was on his scheduled, it wasn't part of his schedule. So there was no posting up of it because he wasn't supposed to have gone there in the first place.
President Trump was not supposed to have gone to his golf course on a Sunday when he was in town. That's what he said, and he reiterated it later. President Trump wasn't supposed to be there. This is how the bureaucracy rolls, especially this bureaucracy, this swamp, right? We know they want to stop Trump. We know it. And this guy, to say that now, that reveals an awful lot. All right, I got to go through this quick because I don't think it's important, it's interesting, but I don't think it's the issue. The guy who shot him, although maybe it is. The guy who allegedly actually had the rifle, didn't shoot Trump, but he was aiming to, right? He wanted to. He's in custody. Ryan Routh seemed pretty proud, actually, by the time they got him into the back of the squad car, right? We'll talk more about him in a moment. But the people who interest me more are actually the folks I call the persons of interest. I'm not going to call them suspects. Persons of interest. If we lived in a healthy democracy, all of these people would be talking to well, they would have gotten a phone call. Their lawyers, at least. The FBI wants to talk to you because of the crazy, insane, and threatening comments and statements you made regarding the former president, many of which are actually against the law. There's federal law against this stuff. President Trump at that golf course, an amazing facility, just amazing, and beautiful, well-maintained. He plays every day, relentlessly. He is into it so much. And this is the place where he almost died. Can I go back to the map, please? I can't emphasize this enough. This is the craziest thing. Regular people so close to the president. What about a real president? I mean, a president who's actually in office. That would be Joe Biden, right? Now, Joe Biden gets all the protection. You see, drop the banner, if you will. Pennsylvania Avenue is closed, right? You can't get within, what, 100, 150 yards? He's in a fortress. He's in a fortress. He's safe. But Donald Trump is receiving so much more in the way of threats. Nobody is really caring about Joe Biden right now. Let's face it, he is a lame duck. And in last night's press conference, they said it out loud. I don't know if they got their story straight ahead of time. This is a sheriff. He's supposed to be a good guy. And he said it. He said it. Listen.
Well, you got to understand the golf course is surrounded by shrubbery. So when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight. All right. And at this level that he is at right now, he's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. Well, because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little bit more people around the perimeter. But the Secret Service did exactly what they should have done. They provided exactly what the protection should have been.
No, you can't say that yet. You can't. Because that has definitely not been established. I've already established that regular people can get within about 50 feet of the president, 45. And then more contradictions because they haven't gotten their story straight. This is why they didn't do too many press conferences the last time, because now they're contradicting each other. That was last night. This is today. This is the acting director, Rao.
The Secret Service moved to increase assets to an already enhanced security posture for the former president. In the days that followed, President Biden made it clear that he wanted the highest levels of protection for former President Trump and for Vice President Harris. The Secret Service moved to sustain increases in assets and the level of protection sought. And those things were in place yesterday.
So he was giving all kinds of shout outs to President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas, actually praising Secretary Mayorkas. Political operative who thinks, I believe his mission is to get Democrats, keep Democrats forever. The highest level of security, can I show you this one more time? Regular schnooks with guns should never get this close to a president, okay? You're no one here. This road is open. This road is wide open while the president is playing golf. That's not the highest level of protection. You want to get a taste of what the highest level of protection looks like? I already showed you the White House. This is the same club in 2018. President Trump doesn't get this stuff anymore. They got a tank in the back. This is what a sitting president gets. And they shut down everything. President Trump needs more, okay? And here's something else that has been kind of unmentioned. Where did this guy park? Where did the shooter park? I've heard that he was there potentially for 12 hours waiting for President Trump to go by. They have not told us yet what he did with his car. Now, if you park the car on Summit Boulevard, that's what you're looking at right there, it's going to stand out, don't you think? Hey, somebody has had their car parked for 12 hours right outside the golf course. So they haven't said whether it was there or possibly across the street. Now, look across the street. Not exactly easy to park across the street. There's a postal facility with barbed wire and all kinds of signs. The signs on the side say, don't park here. You got to work here if you're going to park here. If that guy parked on the street and left his car there for 12 hours, this is yet again another major, major scandal. But they're in the habit of not telling us all the information. They really are. And why do they have to wrap up these press conferences 6 minutes after they start? What's the rush? What is the rush? All right, let's go through this, the alleged wannabe shooter, although the case seems pretty solid against him. All right, what's his name? Ryan Routh. 58 years old, went to that school in North Carolina. What else? Now he lives in Oahu, Hawaii. Not exactly convenient, yet he flies to places like Ukraine and Florida, and he makes $3,000 a year, according to his LinkedIn. Yet he's flying all over the place. Biden-Harris, he's crazy about Biden-Harris, a bumper sticker on his truck. Donated to Democrat organizations at least 19 times. Wow. In 2002, he was barricaded in a building and stayed there for 3 hours, a standoff with cops charged with possession of a weapon of mass destruction, hit and run offense, resisting arrest. Pro-Ukraine and pro-Taiwan activists spent months overseas in Ukraine trying to recruit fighters. And he's been threatening President Trump all over the place, including in a book that you can still buy on Amazon. He writes a book on Amazon, contains a threat, a call for assassination of Donald Trump, and you can buy it on Amazon. They're still hassling Big O Barnett for putting his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk, yet this guy is running around.